Hey, this is Michael DeSilvis from the In the News podcast, daily podcast that we put out every day, right here on DeSilvis Media and New Hunter Network, Church of Christ, and Freedom Network. I want to let you know a few things. We have an event that's going to be hosted from InfoWars, and Jakari Jackson will be doing that tomorrow in Austin, Texas. And basically, we should make this a nationwide protest. And it all deals with regarding, how blacks have been treated and how they've been aborted and how the plan by various people in our government who are racial have, tried to spark riots and infighting with different races because some views think that blacks shouldn't be in this country. But see, really it's not just blacks that matter, but all races matter, because what you do to blacks will eventually come to us. What you do to blacks is people that feel the same way about whites. There's people that feel the same way about Mexicans. There's people that still feel the same way towards Indians and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. See, what we have to learn is to get over the hatred. We have to put away all our differences. If we're in a gang or something, we need to put away all our differences, and we need to overcome this stuff, because if we don't, all we're doing is just going to undo what we tried to establish in this country for so many years, or centuries even. All the progress we made is phooey. We go back to resort to hatred and violence and fighting. And infighting with everybody, because that's what people in the government want us to do. The government wants us to do that so they can, and not so they can roll out martial law all across this country. And in other areas of the world, that's how they done it. It's through violence happening in pockets or in most areas across of different countries. And if it happens here in the United States, that's why they're trying to encourage, Joe Soros is trying to encourage. Joe Soros is the one who's giving money for the protesting that may happen in the violence and unrest, the civil unrest that might happen in Cleveland, Ohio, like it's happened in Ferguson, Missouri, and also and still is happening in Baltimore, Maryland, largely in part because why they outsourced the money. Let's look at the problem, and it's also the cause. If there were more work and more jobs, there wouldn't be all this racial tension. There wouldn't be all this bigotry with gangs and infighting and people labeling people and saying racial slurs and escalating things from there. If people had a job or had a better, competitive wage, and if they were working, these are things that lower crime. These things have been proven to do that, because that's why most countries, when they're established like America is, they have things in place so that crime will be heavily discouraged. You see? And, it's basically really it. If we were, if we want to be a better nation, is what I'm trying to say, we have to not be so dependent on history. But to make history, we have to overcome the history that we have belonged to, the hatred that we have. We have to let it go. We have to let it go, the racism bias. And we also have to let go what color we had, or what other people did to us before, or how people showed hatred towards us even now. If we want to be a better people, whether we're black, white, green, red, or whatever color God made you to be beautifully in the way He's made you, we need to overcome those prejudices and those things that don't help us they don't push us forward, they just keep us back. And they hold us back. And it doesn't help progress. Because when people can band together to do something great, we can have amazing things happen. Especially when the Lord's in the mix. Jesus said He loved people, all people. He didn't look at you because you were black and said, oh, you're not going to heaven because you're black, or oh, you're not going to heaven because you're white, or you're green, or whatever. You're not going to heaven because of the deeds you did, not because of your race. Race with God, just like with people, should never become a factor in discussion in everyday talk. But, that's what the government wants us to do, is to fight with each other. And if we understand this, then we can know what the solution is. Try to create new jobs. Try to stimulate entrepreneurism. Try to give people work if you're successful at it. And that way, more people will be working. there'll be less violence on the street and less tension with each other because we'll be busy doing something. When a nation is busy and when people are working together to do things, even though our business has been outsourced for the most part, the manufacturing industry and technology and that sort of thing have been outsourced largely for the most part, there's still a lot of technology and businesses that are new that are coming on the scene as well. So check around in your local area. Find out what you can do. Use your talents where they're best needed. If you're out of work right now, what I would do, what most counselors would say in the business, career counselors and job coaches, just list all the strengths of all the talents and all the stuff you've done from all your previous employment and college experience and what you've done in your church, et cetera, et cetera. And if it worked before, try to find a job that will fit with that description. If it's not available, then settle for something that is less. That does not mean that you have to take the lower pay for a long time, but for right now, the way things are, just take it because it's better to have money in your pocket coming in, even if it's lower, than not to have any money at all. And then you look for another job, plus while you're working. But that's what you have to do. While you're working, you look for another job. And then when you get the job, then you can give that job, the lower paying job, 2 weeks notice, or whatever the rules are about that. And then you can quit that job and go on to the other job. But see, at the whole time you're doing this, you're still making money. But don't ever walk out on a job, even if it's a job you don't particularly like, because you're doing something that's repetitive all day long. Be glad to have that job until something better comes along. So, think about it. How do we stop these racial tensions with blacks and whites and with each other of all races, not just blacks, because all colors really do matter. Blacks matter. Everybody matters. All races, all nationalities matter. All religions matter. Even if we don't agree with each other, we can still love one another. Even if we don't serve the same God, we can still be nice and love one another. We're not supposed to be fighting because, first it's racial tensions with all races. Then it's also religious. That's the next thing, is get everybody mad at each other and then fighting with religion. And they're doing this on all levels. This assault is on all levels. So we talked about the causes and we talked about some ways to have a solution. So these are ways that are really effective on how to do just that. So anyway, we're going to have the part 2 coming up on the Senate committee, or the community committee, I meant to say, on how they have discriminated against me, and we'll have that analysis coming up here coming up in a little bit tonight, and we're going to be playing that, and we'll be recording that. We'll have that sent up sometime tonight or tomorrow. Probably we'll do that tonight, so then you can see what went on in the office, and you'll see what I'm talking about, how I was discriminated against. And even though they said it was walking, that was really not a factor, because the president here, Sue, in the community also has trouble walking too. But yet she's still president, but because I live upstairs, they feel that my walking's a lot worse. But it's not. So just tell her, it's just an excuse. It's just discrimination. They were discriminating me, against my mental abilities, because they said, things like, you think if we weren't here and nobody was here, you think you could call order to the meeting? I said, yeah, I know how to call order to a meeting. I know how to read the minutes. I know how to go through the thing. I know how to vote and motion things. I know how to do all that. But just wait till the video comes out, and then you can listen to it, and I'll interject like I did before. Let them say what they say, and then I'll give you the reasons, behind it. So that'll be coming up here soon. Anyway, it's Michael DeSilvis. Donate. Please donate. Don't just watch, but please donate, because we really do need them. $297 Bible payment that's due today. They tried to run it. It's been declined. So if y'all could help me out, you get 60 of y'all or 80 of y'all to give 20. Get 8 of you all, not 80. 80 would be great, because that would take care of many months of Bible payment. Each one of you all, if 80 of y'all gave 20, if 8 people gave $25 apiece, that would take care of, actually, no, it would be more than that. If 12 people gave their subscribers, or even if you weren't a subscriber and you just called the 1-800 number for Logos and you got the account department, gave my email address and my name, and you gave $25 a piece, 12 people did that, that would definitely take care of the bill. Just $25 a piece. You don't have to pay the whole thing, but if you got 8 of you all just to give, 12 of you all, I keep saying 8, but I mean 12. If you gave 12 of you all gave $25 a piece, a month, that would take care of my Bible payment, because I really do use it for my church, and that's where my library is. It's in the cloud. I don't have access to a public library. I don't drive. So if you all want to help in that regard, this is one short way, like I said before. It's a real need. It's what I use, and that's how I do my sermon collaboration. It has to be paid. I'm in an agreement with them for 27 months. So if y'all can help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks to those who have helped in other ways. And thank you for the prayers and the gifts at birthday, like I said, on Tuesday. It was really nice of many of y'all. But anyway, subscribe, down below this video. Donate if you feel moved or you like what you're seeing. And also let us know what you think. But keep it clean. Kids do watch. And I love you. See you later. This is in the news for May the 20th, 2015. Because when it really breaks down to it, it's not just blacks that matter, but we all matter when it comes to race. And let's all try to get along. And let's all try to work together. Because when we work together, we can accomplish anything. See you later. You think about that. Peace.